Now there are two reasons why this video exists. One, because I kind of figured, I didn't get the last countdown out by the time I wanted it to, so I figured, this will be good right now. And two, because I freaking felt like it.
Last time I went over my favorites in the franchise, so why not go over the ones I'm more or less indifferent to? I mean, hashtag Pokemon 20 is a thing, so why not crawl into the bottomless pit of anguish that I have absolutely no clue of what's to be expected? I think that's what anniversaries are for, right? Now, don't get this confused with a worst Pokemon list or even a flat-out hated one. I don't really have it in me to despise a lot out of the 700 plus Pokemon, so this is more of a list of the ones I like the least. Also, I do feel that just about any Pokemon can be met on competitive grounds, if your name is Pimpknight. But of course, there are Pokemon that do their job so much better. Well, I have nothing else to say, so let's start this shit. I am totally excited, can't you tell? Now this is already off to a weird start because this Pokemon has two standout things, one of which I do like, but the other I honestly don't. So, Ditto. What the hell is this thing? Before you ask, yes, I'm well aware how good it is for breeding, and that's the standout thing I like. Though, why a pile of pink goop can fuck virtually anything is beyond me. Then again, if you were a pile of pink goop, what else are you gonna do with your life? Well, transform into any Pokemon ever, and that's where my issues with this thing come in. For one, if all this thing can use is transform, hell, it even has an ability that will transform it on the fly, why does this thing even have a base stat total or even a type at this point? Can it just be that special snowflake Pokemon or something? I don't get it. Secondly, I have my problems with transform itself. The move explains itself. It transforms into whatever Pokemon it's facing. It can also bypass some checks into standard battling such as forms and even fucking mega evolutions. Well, this thing is actually awesome, right? Well, it would be, but this is 2016 now. Besides being used to breed for potentially strong Pokemon, does anyone really care for Ditto that much? If it can be used for almost anything, then why even use it when you can use the actual Pokemon without the PP reduction? Plus, it's not even all that unique since Mew can also use Transform, and it honestly doesn't even need to. So at this point, why even bother? And now here's another absolutely worthless gimmick Pokemon, Furfrou. Now I say worthless under the context of its own gimmick because surprisingly, Furfrou's honestly not that bad of a Pokemon. Got a good speed stat, has an ability that halves physical damage, and some pretty good supporting and hindrance moves, so even its own tier it's a capable Pokemon. Now the reason why it's on this list, oh boy. Now the thing behind Furfrou is that you can take it to some hairstylist place and she'll trim its fur into multiple different styles. And I'll admit, some of them are pretty dapper. Now let me tell you why it's all a load of shit. Well, yes, the trims do look cool and you can even use them in battle. The very moment that you put your newly trimmed Furfrou in the PC box, there it goes. The style's completely gone and you have to go back and pay up for another trim. So the only way you can keep it is by having it in your party. So if you want to show it online, you gotta take a trip to the stylist because chances are it's kept on your PC the whole time. Now this may be more on the game's fault than it is the actual Pokemon, but it is advertised that you can take a nice walk with your precious Furfrou. Yep. Sure is great walking with my good Pokemon that I can't fucking see.
Now, unless you're breeding or you're playing games like Pokemon Yellow, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or by extension Platinum's Amity Square, I want to ask you guys something. Have you ever picked up a main series Pokemon game without the intention of battling and think, you know what? Yeah, I think, just walking around a couple miles would be good enough for me, and then I'll just turn the game off. Now, if you are one of those people, then
like Ditto, this next Pokemon is used for something completely unrelated to its whole existence. Hi, Love Disc, how you doing? Now, we all know the song and dance. It's a friggin' heart Pokemon with abysmal stats and abysmal move pool and can't even evolve despite there being another heart-shaped fish Pokemon that's leagues above it. But we don't really care about Love Disc for how it performs. We care about that it has a 50% chance of holding a heart scale, which are used as currency for remembering a Pokemon's old level up move. We could catch a million Love Discs to see which one of them have heart scales so we can release them all, or we could just have a high level Pokemon with Thief and have it kill the entire species just for its shedding. So now you're on a rampage slaughtering a bunch of hearts because you're a fucking monster, you asshole, for a chance of obtaining more hearts. If you don't even get a heart scale, then it's just on to the next, and it's like a various cycle or something like that. And even then, there are other methods of getting heart scales too. It just so happens that going on a complete genocide route is the way to go. What a bunch of fodder. Now, despite there being a huge competitive community for Pokemon, we gotta remember the progress we made to get to a point where suddenly EVs, IVs, natures, and the sort matter. However, if you even dare give the AI an inch, and we result in problems. And I can't think of a Pokemon that gave me so much aggravation than the one that starts with E and ends with is a Pokemon that needs to die in a car fire, with the letters Molga in between. Now, how's this for a quality strategy? Spam the ever-loving hell out of Double Team and test the patience of your opponent. Oh, that's just so very swell. Now, why does this affect Emolga specifically? Because for some reason, the AI in Black and White love this strategy, and combine all of this with a move that never misses, a move that can have 80 power if used during a switch, and an ability that could paralyze the opponent when the user is hit on contact. So you have to deal with at least 2 times evasion while being paralyzed, and Emolga doesn't miss its attacks. Have fun with that nonsense. At least Elise is humble enough not to utilize this bullshit, and in the sequels, she's the only one that even has one, and it still doesn't use this strategy. So what? Is Emolga on here for being too good? No! Don't let that base stat total fool you. Its only competent stat is its speed, and Smogon even dictates that there are far better electric types in its own tier. So now we're just left with another plain Pikachu clone. No thank you.
Bad gimmicks and poor performance. Those are the 2 things I generally dislike in a Pokemon. And well, yeah, I could have went on about how, some designs are really bad. I don't really find myself to hate a Pokemon primarily for its design. However, to have a Pokemon that houses literally what I just now said, well, I guess you could wonder how we got this far, is unknown to me. It's time to stop!
Hey, we're in the fucking money! Honestly, what hasn't been said about Unknown? Its base stat total is fucking atrocious. Its move pool only has hidden power. A move that, unless you're Pokegening, would require a gamble to even get it to the type you want. And even if you do get a stab hidden power on this thing, its special attack doesn't provide good enough mileage for it. In fact, while we're on this, why does it even have a physical stat? Now that's enough to justify it to the top, but I have more. The main reason everyone remembers Unknown, other than how atrocious it is that it has 28 different forms, each of which consists of letters of the alphabet and some punctuation. I can see the effort, but when you catch only one of these, then that's enough incentive for it to fill out the Pokedex unless you want to show off all the forms. But what if you do go out of your way to catch every single form of Unknown? Other than some stupid bragging rights, what's your reward for catching the same Pokemon over and over and over and over again? Gold, silver, crystal. You'll be able to print them out on another ancient artifact known only by us gamers as the Game Boy printer. Fire red and leaf green. Nothing! Diamond, pearl, and platinum. You get a bunch of seals on the way and an extension to a place to another cave that you'll only visit like once or twice. Heart, gold, soul, silver. You do get some pretty useful items along the way, but that's most of what you're getting, alongside with completing that unknown report thing. And an Oras. They're found in a location that requires fucking chance, and when you do get them all, you still get nothing. So TLDW, catching all of the unknown will provide you with the feeling of, yay, I did it. At least you can spell out a funny word when you have a lot of them in a party. You just only have 6 of them to do so. Hey, back again to that funny little insulate thing where all I do is spout gibberish and you have the option of clicking things. But for real, thank you to sticking to the end. I literally came up with the idea and had it scripted in just under 3 days, so I figured why not take this for a spin. I already have some decent progress on the next countdown, so this was more of an apology for not getting the last countdown done when I said I would. I told myself to only give deadlines when I know I can meet them, but considering I often have, I guess you could call them editing droughts, it's not much of a reason. But regardless, there you go. There are a lot of things Pokemon happening as of now. That's 2 countdowns and an ongoing Let's Play for me, and the whole 20th anniversary thing. Maybe I should have done a Pokemonth. Yeah. But anyway, I don't plug this often, but I feel like I should, considering they're the best ways you can get more of, well, me. I have Twitter for updates and shitposts, I have a Steam community group if you want in on that, it's there for you, and I have a Vine for shitposting needs. Again, and there's gonna be a bit more coming along the way, so stay tuned for that.